Welcome back to State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato. We may be doing this remotely on the 20th of March, but there are still very important issues, and one of them has to do with a whole range of transportation issues. We're honored to be joined remotely by the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation in New Jersey, Diane Gutierrez-Scaccetti. Commissioner, I want to thank you for joining us. How are you doing, by the way?
We're doing well. We're busy, but we're doing well.
Commissioner, make it clear what the Department of Transportation is responsible for, and then we'll put the coronavirus issues in context with that.
Sure. So the Department of Transportation has as its primary role the maintenance of the state highway and interstate highway system. And underneath that is tremendous support that we give to our county and local governments in terms of our local aid programs. Our folks work every day not only fixing potholes and mending guardrail, but responding to incidents of all types on our roads, and then also making our highways safer by adding capacity, making large project improvements that are important to making sure people have good mobility throughout the state.
Is New Jersey Transit part of that portfolio?
I sit as the chair of the New Jersey Transit Board, but they are at arm's length from the department in terms of its operation.
Got it. Commissioner, let me ask you this. As we speak now on the 20th of March, and moving forward, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what new restrictions there will be. What are the most significant, quote-unquote, transportation issues and challenges we face?
I think it's the continued safe movement of people and goods. So I'll start with goods. One thing we know that right now the medical supply chain and the food supply chain are critical for New Jersey. So we need to make sure our commercial trucking industry can get through our major highway systems safely, to get medical supplies, to get groceries to people, to bring fuel into the state. And so we're very focused on maintaining our highway system for them to travel. And then next to that, clearly, is making sure all of our customers in New Jersey, all of those who use our roads and our trains and our buses, are able to get to grocery stores or the bank or the post office to do that important business that must be done, that maybe can't wait until we get through this particular event we're going through now. COVID-19 has changed our lives dramatically, but there are always going to be basic transportation needs. And I'm going to point out one more. We have a lot of elderly and homebound residents that require meals, and we need to make sure we're able to get to those folks to provide service to them. And so we have to make sure roads are open and functioning. So Meals on Wheels and other organizations that are similar can make sure our homebound folks are properly taken care of.
Commissioner, let me ask you this. It seems to me, and anyone who has been born and raised in this state or lived here long enough knows that the work on our roads, our bridges, whether it's the Turnpike, the Parkway, all kinds of roads, side roads, it's so important. As we speak today, does that work continue, A? And B, is there any reason to think it would be stopping anytime soon?
Today, the work does continue. We have contractors out there, whether they're paving, as I said, repairing potholes. We didn't have a tough winter snow-wise, but we had a very tough winter temperature-wise, and we had a lot of rain. And so we need to make sure those roads are safe. We need to make certain that people can get to where they need to be. They don't experience damage to their vehicles when they hit a pothole. So right now, construction is continuing. Our contractors are working, not only because it's important for the road, but I think, Steve, if we look back in history, in any time the economy has been stressed at any level, public works projects are the projects that help keep the economy afloat. And so we need to make sure people are working and getting paid and going to the grocery store and doing the things they need to do and pumping money back into our economy. We look around today and we see diners are closed, card stores are closed, all small businesses that have depended on that local influx of cash to survive, to continue to live in New Jersey. And public works projects, back to the Depression and any time since, are always the projects that float the economy back up.
Yeah, we refer people to the WPA and all the projects they were involved in during the Roosevelt administration. You can look that up, folks. But let me ask you this. In terms of social, again, we don't know how this is going to play out. We don't know what the restrictions are going to be moving forward. But let's assume that fewer and fewer people want to be on trains right now and that close contact is a problem longer term. As I'm looking today's Star Ledger and NJ.com, this is today on March 20th, New Jersey Transit asked the feds for $1.25 billion as the outbreak decimates ridership. Here's my question. If people no longer, or for a period of time, a significant number don't want to be on trains in close quarters, what does that mean potentially for our roads and the people who are on them and in their cars?
Well, it's obviously going to make a big difference, right? Because we have a lack of capacity in certain areas of the state. And so if you want to go to the first place that comes to mind, if you get on the Parkway, anywhere from 129 up just above the 150s, any peak hour is packed. And we know that.
We do.
If you get on State Road 17 up in Bergen County,
Paramus,
we know it's packed. Correct, that whole area. And so it's going to be difficult for us to manage that for a period of time. But what I'm confident in, because I think in the age of information we are today and how accessible it is, I think people will go back to their behavior when they understand that the current situation is under control. People don't want to be in their cars necessarily. They want to be on transit. They want to be able to get on the train, and whether it's read a book or make some phone calls or return a text or an email, that particular mode of travel is really important. And I think it will return. I think like anything else, it'll take a little time, just like it's going to take the economy a little bit of time from this dip to rebound. But I think we have to get through, as the governor says, this peak of crisis. We have to flatten that curve, and I think people will start to feel like they can get back to their normal life and their normal modes of travel. But in between that, it's important for this department to look at what technology we can use to help manage that congestion. And that is a much longer term view, but there are opportunities for us to manage congestion without necessarily expanding capacity.
Yeah. As we finish this program, Commissioner, you've made it more clear than ever before that those of us at State of Affairs and everyone in public broadcasting, we have a responsibility to not just report what is happening every day through the news on NJTV News, Metro Focus, our other colleagues, but to try to look at the longer term issues, because hopefully we will get through this and there'll be those issues to deal with. Commissioner, I want to thank you for joining us. Most importantly, to you and your family and the team at the Department of Transportation. Stay safe and be well.
And to you and your team as well, Steve. Thanks very much.
Thank you. This has been State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato, and we're very confident and hopeful we'll be here again next week talking about these issues again. See you then.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation.
Funding has been provided by Gibbons PC, Operating Engineers, Local 825, Hackensack Meridian Health, Summit City MD, New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, Clean Energy Program, New Jersey Sharing Network, NJM Insurance Group, IBEW Local 102, PNC, Grow Up Great. And by these public-spirited organizations, individuals, and associations committed to informing New Jersey citizens about the important issues facing the Garden State. And by Employers Association of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NJ Biz and by NJ.com.